Hello, everybody, and welcome back to another episode from the Board Game Man. Today, I'm going to do, as promised, show you the 6 expansions that Welcome to Your Perfect Home has. We have a Summer, Spring, Halloween, Winter Wonderland, Doomsday, and the Zombie Outbreak. If you need to know how to play the base game, I just did that episode. That was the last episode I did. These are just expansions that you do have to use the base game for. So if you don't have the base game, you can't play these, because the cards that you use in the game go directly with this. There's just a couple little added features for each one of these expansions that makes it a little more fun. Just one more thing to think about when you're placing those house numbers on those homes. So let's head on over to the Gamers Table right now, and I'll show you how the 6 expansions to Welcome to Your Perfect Home come into play. All right, everybody, here we are at the gaming table. Here are the expansions. You can actually buy these individually. Say there's maybe 1 or 2 that you don't really like. You can always buy them individually. That set that I showed you in the first video I did, where it actually had the original, then it had the original dry erase sheets, and then it also has these 6 expansions that came with it. But they also have this, which I just found at Barnes & Noble. It has 4 out of the 6, and these are dry erase expansions as well. So they actually have the dry erase boards for 4 out of the 6. They had it for Spring, Halloween, Winter Wonderland, and Summer. Unfortunately, the 2 that they don't have in here that I have here is the Outbreak and Doomsday. So those are the only 2 that aren't in here. So let's go ahead and open this up, and let's get going here. So as you open this up, it gives you 4 dry erase markers, which is cool, along with the eraser on the tip, which is great. And you also have additional contracts that go with each one of the expansions, which is really cool. What you do is, remember the contracts, you have contract 1, 2, and 3. Well, you would substitute the 3 for one of these, which is really cool. I'll show you how that works. So what you're going to do is you're going to take these out. There we go. I'm going to go ahead and put this over here, get that out of the way. And I'm going to show you what we got here. So it does come with the rules, in this case, the 4, and you can see it has the rules on either side: summer, winter, and then you got Halloween and spring, which is great. And then you also have the dry erase boards. Here's the Halloween and so on. Okay, so let me go ahead and show you. Let's go right to Halloween. All right, let me put these aside, because I'm going to have to open 2 of these, Doomsday and Outbreak. I'll put these over here because I don't really need to open these, because now I have the dry erase for them. Okay. So let's first start off with Halloween. Let's put these aside. We'll go ahead and break out the Halloween rules. Here they are. Okay. So let me go ahead and show you a close-up of what the Halloween expansion looks like. Now you can see some of the houses have little ghosts and candy corns. So that's really cool. So what you do is when you put a number on one of those homes, you're going to choose whether you want a trick or do you want a treat. If you want a trick, then you will circle the little ghost on there, all right? And how you get what comes out of getting the ghosts and the candy corns is, at the very top, if you end up getting 4 ghosts, say you circle 4 ghosts out of the 3 streets there, you can choose whether to get a free pool or you can scratch off a free park, okay? Or if you want to continue on and try to get 2 more ghosts, if you get a total of 6 ghosts, then you can either get 2 pools, or a bis, free of penalty. So you won't get a penalty if you use a bis. And if you want to go all the way and try to get 9 ghosts, then you have a choice of either 3 parks or 2 of the bis with no penalty. So that's pretty darn good. That's pretty cool if you're able to get that many ghosts. Now, when it comes to the treats, the candy corns, these are primarily just straight up points. If you get 4 candy corns, you'll get 5 points. 6 candy corns, you get 10. 9 candy corns, you get 15. But there is a catch to these. Now, say you have a 4-player game and someone decides to cash out on this 4 ghost. Okay, say they get the 4 ghosts and they choose they want to get a free pool. What they're going to do is they're going to go ahead and circle this, and everybody else, every other player, are no longer eligible to get that. So once one player chooses one of these, it's no longer available for any other players, only that player only. So that is really cool. So that's something a little extra to think about. And you can see the candy corns are right here for the points. So you would literally, cross off whatever one, however many points you got on that, as you can see right there. Now, obviously, the ghosts, all you're doing is getting a free park or a free swimming pool, or you're getting bis. So there's no points for the ghost. That just kind of helps you along in your neighborhood. So that is the Halloween expansion. I really like this expansion. I like this one a lot. Just because, once somebody gets it, it's no longer available for anybody else. So that makes a little bit of race to who's going to get how many ghosts and how many candy corns. That's really cool. So that is the Halloween expansion. Okay, and now let me go over the additional contracts that you can use in Halloween. Here are the 3 different contracts that you can substitute the contract 3 with one of these. Let me go ahead and show you. So this one here, all you need to do is collect 7 candies. If you're the first contractor to do 7 candies, then obviously you get the 7 points. And then you'd flip it over just like you do in the original game. And any other players after that would get 3 points for that. So that is one of the contracts that are in there. You also have this contract right here. Okay, these are pretty cool. In this one, you build 3 3-house estates with 1 ghost and 1 candy each. Okay, that's a little tougher to get. But that would be 8 points for the first player, and then any other player after that would get 4 points. And let me show you the third and final contract, and that is this one right here. This one, you collect all the ghosts on the 3rd street. Okay, see the way that it has the first and second? It's like dim, and then the third one. So if you collect every ghost on that 3rd street, that bottom street, the longest street, you would first get 7 points, and then any other player would receive 3 points. So that's a fun little expansion to the contracts. And then right now we are done with Halloween. So that is the Halloween expansion. So I really like that expansion. I think that's really cool. I think they did a good job on that. Okay, let's move on to summer. Okay, and summer has to do with ice cream cones, as you see. A lot of the houses have little ice cream cones. You also have the ice cream trucks on either side of the street. This one's here, and this one's on this side. Okay, and what you're doing is when you write down a number on the street, so say you write the number on the street, if that house has an ice cream cone, okay, say you right here you wrote in a 5, okay, what you do is you would draw a line to where you place that number, okay. You would circle that ice cream cone or cones, because there could be multiple cones, like this one has 2, this one has 2. So say you land on this one, you would draw the line here, you would circle however many cones you have on that house, and you would cross off any other cones you passed. So that can be kind of tough there. So the only houses you land on are the ones that you're going to collect the cones, but the farther you space out your numbers as you write them down, the less cones you're going to get. Okay, so that really you really want to try to get in a consecutive order. That way, try to get as close as you can to each one. That way you can pick up as many ice cream cones. But if you get one start off way over here, you're going to miss all these, and you're only going to get the one that you land on. Pretty darn tough. And the bonus is you get 1 point for each ice cream circled on the street. All right, so all other players must cross off this bonus, but can keep selling ice cream cones on that street. Okay. So what you do is when you get that bonus for that, okay, all other players must cross off this bonus. So whatever ice cream cone you get, everyone else has to cross off that cone. That makes it a little difficult, okay? And then, of course, you have the points here. You got the little ice cream cone there. So for each, the first street, second street, third street, you put in the number of ice cream cones there, and that's the amount of points you would get. 1 point for every ice cream you land on. Now let's go over the contracts for that one. Here we go right here. Okay, so for this one here, okay, here we go. There's one of them right here. On this one, you need to build 3 estates, okay, of 4 houses with 3 ice cream cones sold in it. So every 4 estate, 4 house estate, you need to have 3 cones that are sold within that estate. So that makes it a little tough. That's kind of difficult to do. Obviously, the first player gets 8 points. Any other player gets 4 points after that first player gets the points. Here is this one here. Okay. This one is a little tougher. You must sell all the ice cream cones in one street. If you're the first player to do so, you get 6 points. Any other players get 4 points for that one. And check out this one. Woo, this one's interesting. We have build one estate of 3 homes, one of 4 and one of 5, without any ice cream cones sold. So that's a toughie too. And obviously the first person gets 7 points, and any other player gets 3 points on that one. So those are the additional contracts you can play with the summer. All right. So there is that. All right. So we got to take care of summer. Let's go to, which one's this one? This is the Easter one. This is the spring rules. Okay. So here's for spring, as you can see, you have Easter eggs at a lot of the different houses. Okay. Now this is an interesting one. This is a very, very interesting one. I had to read this a couple times to figure out what they were talking about. And in order for you to collect an egg, you must fill the house using the loops in specific numbers, such as 0, 6, 8, 9, 10, and 16. Now let me show you an example with one of these markers, what they're talking about. As you can see, the Easter eggs here, some have 1 and some have 2. Okay? So for 0, like they're saying, you would have to have 2 eggs. So let me go ahead and write right here. This would have to be your 0. So if you put 0, see the way it wraps around the eggs. Okay? And you would get 2 eggs for that. Now 6 is if it has 1 egg, you can, if you're putting a 6 in that house, you would wrap it around just like that. And that's what they mean by that. So you'd have the 1 egg right there, and you just wrap it around it. So you get 6 points. I'm sorry, you'd get the 1 point for the egg there. Okay. 8 is with 2 eggs. So for instance, if we're going to do 8, let's go ahead and put that right here. Obviously, it's a double. So you'd put it just like that with around the 2 eggs. That would be a loop. Okay. 9 would be kind of the same way. You would take it like this. Okay. And that's how you'd make the 9 around the 1 egg. Very interesting. 10, obviously, would be with 2 eggs. You'd put the 1. And then you put the circle around the 2 eggs. That's how you make the 10. Okay. And then the 16, it would be 1 egg. You would actually put 1 and then a 6 around that egg. Just like so. Like on the last one there. But the 1 and then the 6 would wrap around that egg. Okay, and that's how that works. Now, if you fill the house with a number containing a 6 or a 9, obviously you would get 1 egg. Okay, and then if you use numbers 0 or 8, you can collect up to 2 eggs. Okay, it just depends on how many eggs are in that. That's how many points you get for those eggs. Okay, at the end of the game, okay, and this is what's kind of interesting. At the end of the game, if you collected 6 eggs, which you see right here in the point area, you would get 5 points. 10 eggs, 10 points. 14 eggs, you get 20 points. And then finally, if you got 16 eggs, you would get the 30 points. See if I can just zoom in on that a little bit. There you go. And that's how you'd score those eggs, by the loops and the numbers. So that's very different. Very interesting indeed. Now let's go over the 3 contracts that are in Easter. Okay, so let's go ahead and get this ready. Okay, so we got this one here. This one, obviously you can kind of tell what it is there. Must be the first to build 3 three-house estates with 3 eggs in them. Okay, that is this one. Obviously the first person to do that gets 8 points, and everyone else gets 4. And then this one. You must be the first to collect all Easter eggs on the 3rd street. Okay? And then the last one. You must be the first to build a 3-house, 4-house, and 5-house estate with no Easter eggs. Oh, I'm sorry, this is 2, 3, and 4. I'm sorry. 2, 3, and 4 estates with no Easter eggs in them. And that's worth 10 points. So that's a pretty big one. So if you don't get any eggs in the 2, 3, and 4, then you would get the 10 points. And then the second player on would get 5 points. And that is your Easter expansion. Okay. Go ahead and take the time to erase these real quick before I forget the stain on there. I think I got everything. All right. Yep. Looks like we did. All right. So now that's put aside. And now let's go on over to the Winter Wonderland. Okay. This is the Christmas one. Here is this one here. It's actually nice and bright. So it's really nice. See the little Christmas lights on the top? Pretty darn cool. That's really nice the way they did that. Now for the Winter Wonderland. Let's go over this. Now in this expansion, you are trying to make the longest stretch of consecutive numbers on each street. At the end of the game, you draw a string of holiday lights connecting all the consecutive numbers on each of your streets. You score points for your longest string of holiday lights on each street. You'll score as many points as houses as there are connected by the string. So let's go ahead and show you an example here. Say over here you went 1, 2, 3, 4. Then you kind of broke it up here. And you went 10, 11, 12. Something like this. Okay. So that middle street, let's say that's your numbers. Okay. So what you're going to do is you're going to string lights on every house that is consecutive. So in this case, you would go 1, 2, 3, 4. And then it ends because the next one is 7. So you went 1, 2, 3, 4. You also have another string here, 10, 11, and 12. You would do, see the way I did that? You got 1, 2, 3, 4. So you would string up the 4 lights. Then you had 10, 11, 12. Those 3 are in a row. And then you got 14, 15. Okay, so what you would do is the longest string of lights that you have in that row, that's how many points you would get for that row. So for instance, in the second row, I would get 4 points for those 4 houses. So what you would do is you put it right down here. Right like so. The second row, you would get 4 points for that row. Okay, obviously you add up all 3 streets and that will be your bonus points for this expansion. So that is the Winter Wonderland. Let me go ahead and show you the contracts for Winter Wonderland. Okay, here we go. So the contracts. So here on this one, you would do must have 2 3-house estates without any string of lights. Okay, that's for this one. Then the next one here, this is a big one here. Wow, this is a toughie. That's probably why it's 10 points. You must have 2 6-house estates with consecutive numbers. Woo! So you got a string of lights of 6 in a row in order to get the 10 points for this one. Okay? And then the final one, all houses on a street must have consecutive numbers. Now that's a tough one. So you literally have to go, whatever you start the number off, you get every single one of them in order. But you get a big 14 points if you're able to do so. That's tough to do in this game, to get every single number consecutive. So if you can pull this off, you deserve every point of that 14 points. Okay. And there are the 3 contracts for the Winter Wonderland. All right. All right, let's go ahead and take a look at Doomsday. So here's the Doomsday. And you can see those are the bomb shelters. Those are shelters there. Those little circles you see on top of the homes. Okay. And on this game, what you're doing is every time you fill in a house with the bunker symbol, you're going to write the same number in the bunker. So say, for instance, in this one, you wrote 2 on the house, you would write 2 in the bunker. And what you do is when you fill out a row, you're going to add up these numbers and put them over here. So you have totals of each row that you have there. Okay. And what you'll do at the end of the game is you're going to go ahead and take a look and see the total amount you're going to put right here. Okay, so the total of all 3 you're going to place right here. So the totals of each row is here. Once you add up all 3 of these, you're going to go ahead and place it over here. Now what you're going to do is, if you have rescued the most people, so let's say you rescued the most people out of all the other players. At the end of the game, you're going to say, okay, row 1, who has the most? Okay. And if you are the one that saved the most people, you would get 10 points. You can see right here, this is where the shelter is here. You would get 10 points first second row, third row. Okay. Or if you're an optimist, let me take that off. If you're an optimist, okay, you have the lowest number of people when you add up all the bunkers and score 10 points as well. So you have for the least amount of people you saved or the most amount of people you saved, you would get 10 points for each row. Okay, so if you did the most or the least, 10 points, 10 points. Okay, and that's what you get here. In the total amount, the total amount, if you got all and you got the most people, then you would get 10 points if you had the most out of everybody, totaled up within all 3 rows. So that is the expansion for Doomsday. And let me go ahead and show you the contracts for this one. All right, so this one here, you must have 3 4-house estates, let me get that right, with only 1 bunker. Okay, so only one of them that you filled out, so only 1 bunker. Okay, all right. Then, oh, this is a tough one here. Ooh, boy, okay. You have 6 1-house estates with bunkers. So you must make 1. So you're going to do is you're going to make, this is 1 estate, this is 1 estate, this is 1 estate. You must have 6 of them, 1 estates, in order to get that contract. And of course that would be 8 points and 4 points. Okay, that's a tough one there. That's a lot of fencing. So that's a tough one. That's why it's 14 points if you're the first one to get it. So that's pretty good. And this one here, the first to reach a total capacity of 50 across all the bunkers, you would get the 10 points for this contract. So 50 points total. Okay. And your first person to do that will get 10 points, and everyone else would get 5 if they were able to do that. So those are the contracts for Doomsday. So that's a very interesting one too. I wouldn't mind trying that out and see how it goes. All right, so that's Doomsday. And finally, here is the zombie outbreak. Let me show you this here. Okay. And let me show you. Let's see. That's it right here. So here is the zombie outbreak. And as you can see, you have the bullets on top here, which are able to shoot the zombies, if possible. You also have the little arrows that show you which direction the zombies are coming from. As you can see, there's arrows on both sides. You can see some of these homes are barricaded. You can see they're already barricaded. They have wire, but some of these are open. Okay. And let me go over that right now, what that is for. Okay. So let me go ahead and show you that. So for Outbreak, what you're going to do is when you do your 3 stacks of cards, remember in the base game, you're going to put the 3 stacks of 27 cards each. There are some zombie cards in there. You're going to put one of these in each one of those stacked rows. So you're going to put one of these in one row, one row, one row. Okay? And then you're going to shuffle the deck. And when a zombie card is revealed, the zombies will move immediately. You'll move the horde on each street in the direction the arrow is pointing until the zombie reaches an empty space in the barricade. So you can see, for instance, in this zombie card, it's going to be coming from both sides. Okay? Also here is just one going that way and one going that way. Okay? So those are the zombie cards here. Now what you're doing is if the house is unprotected, now I'm going to show you how to protect it. If it is unprotected, say, you got the card and you went over here, you go to the first house that doesn't have a barricade, this turns into a house that you are no longer able to put anybody in. It is a zombie-filled house. You can't do it. And what you do is you're going to put a Z in that house if it is not protected. Okay? And that's how that works. So you're not able to use that house in your neighborhood because the zombies attacked it and it's gone. So that is a very interesting way to do it. Now, how you fill this out is by using the fence. If you get the fence action, you can either do the regular fences, how you do your states, or you can just go ahead and scribble on the bottom. That would protect that house and you can use it. So the fence has 2 different ways of using it. Just a normal way, or covering up these rows, protecting these homes. So very, very interesting indeed. Now, if you want to slow the horde down, you can spend 1 ammo per street to shoot the zombies. Okay? And that's a cool part too. Now, how do you get these bullets? I don't see bullets up in here. Well, they are down here in the real estate section. Okay? So once, say you got a real estate one and you scratch this off, say, for every one estate you get, like you do in the regular game. See, the bullets are within the numbers in the real estate. So once you reach that number, when you scribble off, you're going to get that ammo, okay? And you're going to go ahead and circle the ammo up here when you gain it. And of course, once you use it, you cross it off, okay? So that's how you get the bullets in the game. That's how you protect it. So say a zombie comes and they reach this house. Well, guess what? I'm going to use a bullet. I'm going to shoot you. And then you're good to go. And then you're fine. And that house is protected until the next card comes, and then they can move again. And in order to protect that house, you need to use a bullet again as well, if you're lucky enough to have enough in this area. And of course, they go in each row. So whatever row you choose, whatever number you choose in that row, that's the row the zombie moves in. So that's when you got to be very careful. So very, very interesting. What you do is you cross off an ammo to use it. If you don't have any ammo, then obviously you haven't filled the empty space with the barricade. The zombies break into the house. You fill in the house with a Z and place a fence on either side of it. We don't want it to spread, so I forgot about that part. So say, they reach this house, you'd put a Z in there, and you'd automatically put a fence on both sides. That house is now barricaded, and the zombies cannot get anywhere else. And obviously after that, then you would discard the zombie card and continue the turn as normal, okay? Every time you advance your real estate to an ammo symbol, circle an ammo at the top, you only start off with one bullet. The fence action allows you to build barricades, which I just told you, in addition to the regular fences between the houses. When you write a number associated with the fence action in a house without a barricade, you can build a barricade in the front of the house instead of a fence. So I think I just went over that with you. I just want to read that just in case I missed anything. Looks like I pretty much got it. Let me go ahead and show you the contracts for the zombie outbreak. And right here, this is pretty self-explanatory. If you spend 5 bullets, if you're the first one to spend 5 bullets, you would get 8 points. And obviously, second player on will get 3. Next one. This is a tough one here. This is a very interesting one, very detailed one here. This one, you must build the middle barricades on each street. So that is very, very interesting. So you do the 2 in the middle. If you do those barricades, you're the first one to do that, you get 10 points. And then the final barricade, the first to complete all of their barricades on 2 streets. Okay? So on 2 streets, if you fill in every single barricade on 2 of the streets, you get 6 points, and then everyone else would get 3 points. And there you have it. There are all 6 of the expansions. Let me know in the comments section down below, maybe the ones that are your favorite, and maybe the ones that are your least favorite. For me, I would have to say, I think the Halloween one is probably the best one. Now, I have not played any of these because I just recently got these. I was so excited. So I haven't played any of the expansions yet, but I can tell just by how they look and how the instructions are, I think the Halloween one I would like the most. It's a little more interactive with all the other players. He's like, oh, I got the one with the 6 ghosts. Okay, boom. No one else can get it. There's no other expansions that do that. So I think that's great. That's really, really cool. The least favorite, maybe the Doomsday one. There's not much to it. You just write the number. You write the number on the top. I mean, okay. That might, but you know what? I think it'll still be fun. I don't really bash any of them because they're all really cool. They all have their individual thing. The stringing of the Christmas lights is kind of cool. The zombie is really cool because you're actually not just doing the fencing, but you're also barricading the homes as well. So that fencing all of a sudden has 2 different ways to play it. But anyhow, thank you so much for taking the time to watching this video. All 6 of the expansions. Hopefully they'll come out with some more. I think this is great. I think that this is a great little thing they have going here at Deepwater Games. And once again, thank you all for watching. I hope you enjoyed the episode. If you did, click on the like button down below, and hopefully you'll become a subscriber today. And until next time, everybody, thank you so much for watching.